Baby, what is up, guys? Just getting off work, heading home, and I want to ask you guys a question. Get off the phone, dummy. I want to ask you guys a quick question. What was your very first ever concert, and what was your most memorable moment? At any concert you've been to. For me personally, the very first concert that I ever went to was, I'll say my very ever first was a Weird Al concert. But when you want to say technically my very first metal concert, that was Ozfest 2004, and the very first ever metal band that I actually got to see perform was God Forbid. There was God Forbid, Hatebreed, Lamb of God. Slipknot was headlining the second stage, and that was bananas when Slipknot came out. I remember the whole crowd was going crazy, and there was people climbing in trees to try to see Slipknot. And this is when Slipknot was at their heyday, when Slipknot just released Iowa album, and that's when the Iowa album was like pumping, and people were just like, this is the heaviest shit ever, this is crazy. And then at that same concert, I got to see Black Label Society, I got to see Ozzy, or I think it was Black Sabbath, and I also got to see Iron Maiden and Judas Priest. No, I think it was Iron Maiden. Judas Priest was not that venue. It was It was Iron Maiden, Slayer, Demo Borger. I don't even know how you pronounce that band, but it was just a lot of cool acts. And Mudvayne, if I'm not mistaken, was on that festival. And I just remember having the hell of a time of my life. Like, that was the very first time I felt this is what music is about. It's about seeing live music is what listening to music is all about. You see your favorite band, you've always like looked up to these guys, you've always like loved their music, and actually seeing it live, it's like no other thing in the world. You got that emotion, you got that like just that emotion of like you could release all your energy out on a song. You could crowd surf. I went crowd surfing that day. I went moshing. I had the time of my life. I was like, this is what metal music is all about. This is just what music in general is about, is letting go and having that chills up and down your spine. I didn't care if I was sunburned. I didn't care anything. I was just there to listen to some music and have a great time. But my most memorable ever going to a concert moment was going to Ozfest 2005, and in 2005, the reason why I had so great of time, me and like 4 buddies got into my buddy's van, and we decided to go to Ozfest. We all took off work, and this is crazy, like, because they had to cancel the Saturday show, so they did it on a Sunday. So you would assume, okay, not a lot of people, the whole crowd would show up. A lot of people didn't show up. So, what, I think it was Mudvayne or somebody like that, one of the artists said, get off the grass, because you had like the amphitheater. Then what Ozfest had was like a lot of cheap seats. Basically, you would pay like $15, but you would just sit in the grass behind the amphitheater. So you could still go, but you'd get like crappy seats, right? And one of the artists was like, no, everybody get off your ass and come sit in the seats, get closer. And everybody did. Everybody rushed to the seats. So the security guards couldn't say, hey, you can't do that. But they can't really stop 20,000 people rushing to sit in their seats. So basically what happened was, I got to like row 7, row 8, and my buddy, he got all the way down on the floor seating to where Ozzy, like right next to the stage where Ozzy was, and he was jumping around and moshing, and that was one of the most fun and exciting concerts I've ever had, because I went with people who truly love listening to metal music, who truly love going to listen to music, and that was the thing. I went with a couple people too, where like after like 4 hours or 5 hours of being there, they were kind of burnt out, because when you go to like a festival, people don't realize it's 9 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. Like it's like a 14-hour event, and I went and enjoyed myself. I had a hell of a great time, and the only festival we have here is called Rockville Festival, which is very similar, but they do it like a Saturday and Sunday type event. But now this year they're doing it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so it's going to be even more of a crazy thing. But for me, the older I get, the more I want to go, but the more I only want to go like one day, because I can't handle being out in the Florida heat, being sunburned, or just being hot. But I definitely would say my 2 favorite concerts ever were the Ozfest events. Those were probably the best concerts I experienced, besides going and seeing some other bands. But personally for me, it's the Ozfest shows, and then there's little shows here and there that I went with my friend Teresa. We went to see who did we see? We seen Seven Dust together. We seen Pop Evil together, and we seen that one group OTEP together. We seen Butcher Babies together, and it was a pretty cool event. Like they were like, it was called The Pit, and basically The Pit is this very, very small venue that holds maybe 300 people, but you get locked into this little building, and it was like very intimate, like a very intimate connection with the band, because the band's here and you're literally like this close to the band. So it felt like a local show, like a local show that the band just happens to be like Butcher Babies or something like that, just riffing and headbanging and thrashing, and it was fun, man. I enjoyed every minute of it. I enjoyed every second of those shows. And you're probably seeing clips right now of the show, and you're probably enjoying it yourself, seeing that, oh my god, you got to film. I'm like, yeah, they let me actually bring in my camcorder and actually film the actual bands, which is kind of crazy, because most venues be like, hey, put your camcorder down, you can't have that in here, you can't have your recording device. But they didn't care. They allowed you to do whatever you wanted to have fun, and that was what it was. It was awesome, and it was a very cool thing. And I think going and seeing your favorite artists, your favorite bands, is what it's all about. Music is supposed to be played at a loud volume. Metal is supposed to be experienced in a loud environment when everybody's having fun, the whole crowd's moshing, the whole crowd's cheering, the whole crowd's just going off. That's when you know the band is doing something. I love listening to music in the car and on my radio and on my headphones, but there's nothing like it, man. There's nothing like playing. There's nothing like going to a live concert and just going off. It's the same thing like people with like fast cars. There's nothing like driving a sports car. There's nothing like driving a motorcycle at 60 miles per hour or like 80 kilometers. Down the highway. There's nothing like that feeling in the world. There's nothing. And people, the reason why people enjoy certain things is because it gives them a rush. It gives them all their adrenaline is pumping and they're excited. That's what it's all about, is having fun. And I don't care if you listen to music or you go to concerts or you go to sporting events or you just go to like bonfires or you like driving cars fast or you like driving your Toyota Celicas or whatever you do. It's just all about having fun. And that's exactly what I think going to concerts for me is. It's a release. I could take my energy out. I could take my just whatever bad in my life. I take it out on the moshing or the headbanging or just whatever. But that's what it is, man. Music to me is like a drug because I love music. But as always, guys, let me know what your favorite concert moment you ever experienced and what was your first concert ever. Like I said, mine was actually a Weird Al concert, even though it wasn't a metal concert. But I still say my very first concert technically was Weird Al, but I always say it is the Ozfest because that's when I first got to see metal live for the first time. So, as always, I'm Trevor, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.